and we were all caught unprepared with this pandemic. So that's why we have no choice but to embrace this new normal. Okay, so let's get us started. So for our objectives, I will discuss learning management system to differentiate blended or the hybrid learning from online distance learning, to discuss and compare the top 10 most used tools in the digital education, to impart educators and learners with the knowledge of how tools can be effectively implemented and utilized for teaching and learning process. To discuss the advantages and limitations of flexible online education setting, and to promote better learning with the use of diverse technologies in the current school setting. Okay, so these are the topics that I will be tapping or will be discussing this morning. So we have the introduction about the LMS and the blended hybrid learning, as well as the online and the distance learning. Flexible online education, the list of popular tools being used in the digital education, technology resources updates, the role of educators and learners, as well as my conclusions. So the role of technology, we cannot deny the fact that the role of technology has a major and vast role in the society. So as you can notice, it is a link. So in terms of research and development, agriculture, government services, engineering and architecture, education, social media, industry, banking and finance, medicine and health services, accounting, business and management. So kung may nakalimutan pa po ako ditong idagdag, so all of those, uh, they are using technology. So from the simple that we'll be ordering a food online, 'di ba? So lalo na ngayon, we are definitely not allowed to go if that is non-essential. So we'll tap our mobile device to order food to deliver in our doorstep. Okay? So ganun din in the government services. So majority of the transactions nowadays, they are in the form of requesting online or through the page of the certain office. In terms of agriculture, so the process of automating the process of automation of harvesting crops, for example. So that is also a part of research and development collaboration. That's why when Sir Banyes or Dr. Banyes discussed about the role of research, so just like the role of technology, both they have a major role in our society, most especially that we are in a fast-paced digital age. Okay, so actually the concept in here is about system thinking. Actually, system thinking, this is one of my favorite courses that I teach, because in system thinking, we can talk about everything. Sabi nga sa system thinking, everything connects to everything else because they are all connected. So for the learning management system, so maybe the participants from other university or colleges, you have your own LMS provided by the university. So later on, I will discuss the LMS that we are currently using provided by our university. So learning management system, this is a platform where the students and instructors meet to discuss uh, lessons, to deliver lessons. So the primary purpose of this is to encourage students' participation, to improve students' learning ability, as well as the teacher's workflow. Okay, and then when we say blended hybrid learning versus online distance learning, so before I continue, because there are so many platforms, there are so many tools, there are so many LMS in which I will show you later on. So we can benchmark, for example, in other university. We might ask later on what platform they are using. So when we say blended or hybrid learning, okay, so the term blended learning the term blended is also referred to as hybrid learning, in which it represents a combination of face-to-face and an online excuse me, online learning in the exchange of seat time in the classroom. And when we say online or distance learning, so um, it means that this is pure online learning, and sometimes remote learning is also called as online and distance learning. And this is our norm nowadays. Okay. So in the Learning Management Systems Guide, so why do we need an LMS? So aside from, we have no choice because we were all caught unprepared with this pandemic. Even though before, when I teach at Lyceum, Laguna, way back 2011, I had experience to use Moodle. So Moodle is one of the LMS. So since that time, medyo technical siya kaya hindi siya nagmaterialize. Though, still using, many are still using Moodle nowadays. So it means that LMS is not new to all of us. Okay? And then in the important factors in choosing LMS, so we need to consider these factors about the student and teacher collaboration because this will be the primary purpose. So what do we need to consider with this? So this is a real-time communication platform that should be included, such as chat or integration to a VoIP service, just like what I am doing right now, what we are doing right now. So this is a voice over internet protocol service. So meaning we can discuss, we can show presentations while discussing using our voice to our students. And then of course, we need to consider that how are we going to grade or how are we going uh, to measure the ability of our students. So our LMS should or can provide quizzes and tests. So any robust LMS should have a built-in quiz or test engine. And then in terms of data and reports for the gathering of scores, for example, usually this is in graphical forms then that whenever we give examinations or quizzes, there are interpretations and reports. So these reports should be generated in just a few steps, or better yet, automatically, so that it will be a big help for the educators, the instructors to automatically collect the grades. But then, of course, there will be instances, especially if you give problem solving computations or if you give essays and so on, that you need to manually check. So we can have the option to release the grade later, so that we can manually review that. And then of course, mobile access, it should has the mobility because of majority of the people nowadays, we are very reliable on our handheld devices, our cell phones. So as such, an LMS platform should be accessible using these devices. And majority of the softwares being developed, they are releasing softwares compatible to laptop, desktop, and then eventually that will be compatible for the cell phones, be it Android users or iPhone users. Okay, so I have created a table and research about the top 10 most popular learning management systems or the tools being used in the digital platform nowadays or in our digital classroom. So I have included here the sites where I have get this and the latest within the dates. Yeah, medyo kumuha din ako ng 3 years backward so that for comparison purposes. So for the guide to research.com or from guide to research.com, the first is Moodle, and then we have the Blackboard. So I hope that, or I believe that some of you are already familiar with some of these. But although, of course, I haven't used majority of these, I am just familiar and I have just few. I have used a few. So we have the Schoology, and then we have the Google Classroom here. We have the Canvas. This is a D2L or the Distance to Learn Brightspace. We have the Absorb, Learn Dash, Search Central, and Edmodo. From HP.com, Google Classroom is the top one, followed by Pear Deck. Actually, itong Pear Deck, it has collaboration with Google Education. Kaya makikita nyo siya when you click the Google Marketplace, yung may dot sa baba. So I will show you later on. And then, Blackboard is the third. Coursera, Canvas, Edpuzzle, Khan Academy, Edmodo, Socrative, Loom. So from Medium.com, we have the G Suite, we have the CISO, Padlet, Edpuzzle, Screencast-O-Matic, WeVideo, Canvas, Flipgrid, Nearpod, Quizlet. So from iSpringSolutions.com, we have the iSpring, Kahoot, Edpuzzle, Starfall, Spell Quiz, Quizzes, Commonlit, Quill, Flickrs. Actually here, from iSpringSolutions.com, Google Classroom is in top 16 because they have reviewed top 50. And then from elearningindustry.com, which was published on January 27, 2018, we have the Socrative, Scratch, Prezi, SelfCAD, Quizlet, top 6, si Google Classroom. We have the Adobe Sparks Video, Khan Academy, CISO, and Class Dojo. So I know that we might be overwhelmed with these numbers and increasing numbers of learning management systems available or tools available online. So actually, there are so many to choose from. So what do we need to consider? I have basically these are the things that we need to consider in choosing the LMS. But of course, big factor is our organization or our university because the university will provide this learning platform for the teachers to use. Okay, so I believe you have already used some of this. You are familiar with some of this, and just like what I have said, I have already used Moodle way back 2011. So this is more on technical side. And then I have heard of Blackboard, Schoology, Edmodo, but I haven't used I haven't used them. Some of the tools here, like quizzes, so this is used for icebreaker, just like what Dr. Legaspi has given us for our exercise. So ang ginamit ni Sir kanina is Menti. So may mga kasamahan pa yan, mga game kit. So, and then Prezi is also used for presentation then. Ayan. So those are some. So ayan, G Suite. Actually, what's best about Google is that they are all synchronized with other tools and applications. So majority of the apps are very user friendly. We can easily follow. As you can notice, when first time experience or first time opening the application, there is toolkit or that tooltip or toolkit that will guide us kung para saan yun, and so on and so forth. So that's that feature add to the readability, or I mean user friendliness of certain application. So now, after seeing this so many LMS tools, so which LMS best fits your needs? So this will be the next question. That's why the perfect LMS will depend on the type of academic institution. That's why I have mentioned that it depends upon our organization, our university, because they they are the one who will need to consider about the classes, student demographics, and faculty members. So open source solutions like Moodle provide the most flexibility. In software, we have the terms open source versus commercialized software. When we say commercialized software, sila yung usually na may bayad. But the question is, pag po ba talaga open source, libre po ba talaga? So the answer to that is basically yung mga basic na functions or features nila, yun ang free. If you have explored Google Classroom and you want to add on some app or you want to subscribe to some app, meron siyang bayad. Okay? Pero if we search, of course, Google for Education is free because that is their goal. But when I am trying some applications even before when I am exploring Google Classroom, meron siyang bayad to subscribe. But of course, gano'n naman talaga, that's the way or that's how it is because of course, still they are business and business needs profit. Okay, and then yeah, so open source solutions like Moodle, but still it has a premium din, ibig sabihin meron ding bayad. But you will need a competent developer to get it running. That's why I have mentioned that it is somewhat technical, yung customization niya, yung pag-set up. And then Google Classroom and Edmodo LMS are perfect for K-12 programs with their ease of use and accessibility. So on the other hand, Absorb LMS and Search Central fit institutions that offer training and certifications for continuous learning. So balikan ko lang dito yung Coursera. Actually, I believe we have enrolled in this Coursera. I just don't know when we will start. So this is a commercial. This is a commercial software. So now, after considering this learning management system tools and answering these questions or taking into considerations these things, so the most popular and most used LMS is the Google Classroom, as you can notice. Here, Google Classroom, Google Classroom, Google Classroom, Google Classroom. Next to that is the Canvas. Okay. So the most popular, and actually, this is the platform that we are using right now, the Google Classroom. So as one of the leading names in information technology, Google will not miss the chance to offer education-centric tools. That's why they have the term Google Education. So as part of the Google for Education initiative, they have launched the Google Classroom. So if you are already using G Suite or planning to take advantage of Google solutions, this LMS integrates with the rest of the company's products without the need for complicated configuration or setup. Because the university provided us with our G Suite account. So the university, of course, they are the one who communicated with Google. That's why we have the domain, all of our emails, and at batstate-u.edu.ph, so that we can easily search for someone, we can easily search for our students, we can easily search for our co-faculty, our immediate supervisor, if we need to send emails and others. So, and while using the G Suite, G Suite is also very user-friendly. It has some features on the right side. It has also Hangouts wherein you can chat in someone in your contacts. So those are some of the several features of G Suite. Okay, and then what are the features of Google Classroom? So in Google Classroom, we can create classes, send assignment, communicate with students, grade coursework, post feedback all in one place, drag and drop on the classwork page. We can post questions as well as the students. We can reuse assignments. We can reuse our forms, attach a Google form to a post, bump a post, or we can move a post to the top. We can rearrange. And now, since we are in 2021, we are in the middle of 2021. What's new about Google Classroom? So if you have updated your Google Classroom, you can notice this icon. So it is a set of activities. So meron, just like Zoom, meron na din siyang breakout rooms. Breakout rooms for grouping, for conducting small groups, polls for surveying, question and answer. Of course, recording is not new. Whiteboarding aside from Jamboard, using the Jamboard. Excuse me. So these are some of the Google Classroom 2021 additional features. So if you haven't updated your Google Classroom, I bet that you update that para we can use these additional features. So now, upon researching, there are 12 new features coming to Google Classroom in 2021. Actually, this was published on February, last February. But the question are some of the tools are or add-ons, yun nga po, merong bayan. So Classroom to work with tools, Classroom add-on integrations, Marks Made Easy, audit logs for the admin, insights for activity logs, improved hybridity. So I am looking for these new features. Some are not yet available. Maybe they are still working on that. And then offline learning for Android app only, improved imagery, simplified workflows, rich text formatting so that we can edit our font style, and so on. Originality reports, so to check plagiarism. NCS first integration, importing a class. Sabihin, in this new feature, we can import a class. We can, by signing to another class. This is the CS first integration feature. And then yon, again, for the G Suite for Education, as you can explore or as you have explored, there are so many apps for Google. So tayo lang, lahat yan magsisync. Google Calendar, Google Classroom, G Suite, the forms, the sheets, Google Meet, and so on. Okay, so that's the beauty of that. They are all synchronized. Once we set our calendar, just like what Dr. Legaspi have said, it will notify us 10 minutes before our meeting, 10 minutes before our class, so that we will not miss any of our schedule. And then for Google Workspace Marketplace, so there are more apps inside this Google Workspace or Marketplace. And yun nga lang, some are, we need to pay. Okay, so aside from using Google Classroom, these are some other tools that from my own experience, of course, we are teaching different subjects or courses. Of course, the tools that we are using depend upon our subject. So these are the tools that I am being used in online learning. Of course, Microsoft Office, Messenger. Are you also using Messenger? Because aside from notification from email or the G Suite email of my students, because this is very ito yung laging tinitingnan. Kaya I have included Messenger because we have group chats, and every time that we will meet, though the Google Meet link is already posted in our Google Classroom, before I enter the room, I always send the link in our group chat so that it is a reminder para talagang walang maiwan or walang makakalimot. And then, of course, the YouTube, since I am teaching programming subjects, of course, even though we are handling different subjects, of course, gamit na gamit natin sa YouTube, because every time that we do not know what is this or what are the steps, how are we doing this from scratch, this is a very big help, aside also from Google. And then Paint, I am using Paint for simulation, for simulation of flowchart, the programming logic of the codes that we are programming. So that, aside from demonstrating ngayon, masyadong shoulder ng faculty, from my experience, talagang more on, you will shoulder the coding. You will demonstrate first. The first thing, for example, I am teaching Python programming language. Of course, this is the first time that I am teaching this subject. So this is a challenge. So of course, from scratch, with the help of browsing Google and YouTube. So I have searched that for iOS, iba ang ida-download. For Android, ibang ida-download. For desktop, iba din ang ida-download. If meron pang naka-MacBook, iba pa ulit yon. Tapos merong for example, naka-Linux. So, but the good point for that, the beauty of that, is that you can compare and kumbaga, yon ang sinasabi ni Sir, we are educator and at the same time we are learner. So, I am a much believer of that and I am happy kapag ang estudyante din ay natuturuan ako. Kasi sabi, I am always telling this to my students that even though I am a computer instructor, not anything about computers under the sun ay alam ko. Kasi of course, we have all our limitations. We have our major, we have our field of specialization. So it is, I am quite challenged and I am happy kapag they are suggesting. At least they are participating and that's important. And then aside from Paint that I am using for simulation, specific software, for example nga, we have for example, I am teaching Python, so I need to search or I need to search on what will be the best installer that I will be using if diba, we have diverse students. They are using iOS, some are using iOS, some are using Android. So we need to cater all of those or all of their needs. Kasi syempre kailangan nilang makasabay kahit pa paano, kailangan nilang ma-apply, kailangan nilang matutunan yung programming because that is my goal. Kasi when our goal or our set objectives at the beginning of our class do not happen, so parang medyo masama sa pakiramdam kasi the purpose is defeated. Okay? So talagang hahanap tayo ng way on how can we deliver our lesson to our students. Okay, yan, database and Mentimeter. So ito yung ginamit ni Dr. Legaspi kanina. And then we have the gift kit. So sometimes I am using this for icebreakers. So I am sharing to you some of the useful links that I am using in my teaching. So we have studyopedia.com. So I'll be showing. Yeah. So studyopedia.com, if ever that there are some students who are here, computer students or computer technology students, so you can use this. So there are so many programming languages. Ang kailangan lang natin, just like so many LMS, one at a time, aralin natin. Okay, aside from that, we have the w3schools.com. So for programming, yan. So dito ako nag-aaral ng Python. We have also I have also visiting tutorialspoint.com. Yan. So there are many resources online. You just need to read kasi reading is very essential. And ito para sa lahat, I don't know, baka meron na din naman pong gumagamit nito, the Anvari. Anvari.net. This is an open educational resources. Open educational resources meaning they are using this or they are providing this to us for free. Because in the open source, they have the community that they need to share it for free. Tama naman nga, lalo talagang I am encouraging sharing because sharing is caring. And aside from that, hindi naman din tayo ang gumawa nito, nakita din lang natin. So it is necessary to share to our colleagues. For example, lalo na yung mga nahihirapang maghanap ng mga references. Yan po, may mga management dito. Ang alam ko meron ding mathematics dito. So yan po, you can visit this site. Downloadable mga PowerPoint presentations na ang nandito. Ready-made na po. And then another one iyon, Natutunan ko lang din to, of course, yung remove background. Ayan. Remove background from image. Lalo na po pag tayo ay nag-iisig sa mga forms. So yan, gamit na gamit ko yan. I-upload nyo lang dito yung inyong file. And then automatically, mawawala yung kanyang background. That's why I have used this. I have, I get this presentation from Prezi. So, ikinat ko lang sa Paint yung aking mukha and then pinagkit ko lang dito. So, I have used remove background and Paint to do this. So, those are some of the useful links that I am using in my teaching. So now, what will be the role of educators and learners? So we have this platform, we have this LMS, we have the materials. So what will be the role of educators? So of course, sabi nga, we have the industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 as discussed by Dr. Banyes. So of course, as educators, nag-evolve din yung ating mga role. So yun nga, aside from being educators, we are also learners at the same time. So what about our students? So yan, so sabi, a picture always reinforces the concept. So images reveal large amounts of data. So remember, use an image instead of long text. So are you experiencing this too? Even though we have recorded our lecture, for example, in Google Meet, we have sent links in YouTube. We have sent links on how to do this. Still, screenshot pa din tayo. Because I don't know, maybe some of the students, hindi ko naman nila lahat. Sabi ko nga, i-jump na lang nila yung video kasi madali na naman ngayon, di ba? Doon ka lang mag-focus sa kung anong kailangan mo. But sometimes hindi pa rin kasi how did I know this? When I give exams or laboratory activities, of course, the students will message. And then you will realize na you have sent all the resources, you have sent all the links, and then so kaya sabi ko sometimes, please watch the video tutorial that I have recorded. I have set that in the group chat. I have posted that in Google Classroom and so on and so forth. So we need to be very patient. Kaya nga sabi, we need to use awesome words as educators. We need to use kind words. Dahil we do not know what anyone is going through, 'di ba? Baka mamaya maka-trigger tayo ng kung ano man. So ingat na ingat tayo doon. Kahit tayo ay inis na inis na. So we will choose kind words and awesome words, words of encouragement to support the students. Kahit pa magpaulit-ulit. Okay, so I am also sharing some of the life hacks that I am using. I also shared it to my students kasi actually this week is our final exam. So tama sa Sir Dennis, though medyo busy ang week, we are thanking Dr. Romel Aceron for trusting us to be the plenary speakers in this first virtual conference. Merong nagpapaalam na agad. So to think na last sem na, ma'am, makapumahina yung aking yung signal. So ang ginawa ko, since I am using this, the magic data, you can also try this dahil super sulit. So yan, 2 gigabyte for 99 pesos, no expiration. So every time, 'di ba? Every time na you go out, syempre meron tayong mga ibang roles na kailangan nating lumabas, we have errands to do. So kailangan natin ng data. Kaya I am using this. Tapos, kung halimbawa, poproblemahin na estudyante yung pang-load, so sabi ko, abang sila sa Lazada. So, di ba? So, that is the use of technology. So, we need to make use of the technology available for our own good. Sabi ko, merong pisong load, abang kayo. So, yan, aabangan nyo lang talaga. Kailangan lang may load kayo sa Lazada wallet to avail that. So, this is very affordable and very helpful, laking tipid. So mag-ipon ka, 'di ba? So 20 times 5 pesos and then you can subscribe to the Magic Data. 2 GB for 99 pesos. So matagal na yan, so kakayanin. So ibig sabihin, we need to support talaga our students. So there are things that we can do. Kumbaga, in extent, we need to extend our hand to our students. Lahat na ng considerations we need to do. Pero sometimes, of course, may mga unavoidable circumstances. O, syempre, hindi na natin hawak yon. Pero yung kaya natin ay di gagawa natin ang paraan. So ito yung some of my life hacks that I have also shared to my students. Okay, and then since we are in this age, we are in the digital age, this is also the age of ubiquitous computing. Actually, Ubicom or ubiquitous computing, this is not new. So this is the concept in software engineering and computer science. Our computing is made to appear anytime, anywhere. So, actually, lahat nasa phones na natin, di ba? Hindi na natin kailangang mag-relo. Sometimes, nandiyan ang alarm. Napakadaming apps that we can do. Actually, pwedeng cellphone lang ang dala natin. Siyempre, may pera. Pwede din namang may pera sa GCash, di ba? So, pwedeng yun ang gamitin natin sa mga transactions and so on and so forth. So that's our digital age. And I have considered, yun ding sinabi ni Dr. Dennis De Gaspi, yung about sa DQ, the digital quotient. Of course, we need to take into consideration yung mga hindi ganong kateki. Before, I remember last year, before the opening of the first SEM or the midterm. There are so many trainings and seminars about Google Classroom, about learning management system. So that is the first step. So we need to attend the training, we need to apply, and of course, don't hesitate to ask for help, to ask for assistance. Okay lang pong okay lang pong humingi ng tulong. So i-practice natin 'yon, gawin nating norm 'yon because that's normal. Hindi naman talaga lahat ng bagay ay alam natin. Hindi naman pag ibinigay or na-attenda natin ng training, kuha agad natin, di ba? So okay lang pong magkamali, okay lang pong magtanong, okay lang to ask help. Okay, and then so after knowing all of this, so before I discuss, so ito yung G Suite. G Suite. Naka-open ito. So ito yung this is my G Suite account. So yan, no notes, 'di ba? Alam na natin 'to, magno-note kapag late nag-submit ng exam, for example, lang estudyante. We can use chat messaging here, the Hangouts. It has other features. We have it has different apps. Ito yung Google Marketplace, in which there are so many apps to choose from. Okay, so of course, the first thing that we need to do, kailangan ba natin yung app? So kung may mga pagpipilian class, sorry po. Kung may pagpipilian po, we can read the reviews. Yan, tingnan natin ang reviews. Actually, for the Filipino developers, pwede nyo pong tulungan or pwede nating tulungan ang Filipino developers by means of downloading their app. Minsan kasi, yan, di ba pag kokonti po, hindi natin dina-download. So that is a support. Or kaya talagang basahin natin ang reviews. Baka kaya mamaya kasi hindi talaga siya ganun ka-user friendly. Okay, so there are so many apps to choose from. So it depends po kung anong i-download natin at syempre, kung willing kayo, for example, na mag-subscribe. Ito po, may bayad. Okay, and then here are the advantages of flexible online education. So of course, from the term itself, this is flexible. We are conducting this in the comfort of our home, and then of course safe, and then cost-effective. Kasi cost-effective for the part of the university. Okay, pero sa part ng although may allowance naman. And then self-paced learning, adaptability to learning styles and diverse needs. So for the limitations, I do not want to call it disadvantages, but instead limitations of flexible online education. So yun lang, no boundary. So of course, kasi nga nasa bahay. And then does not suit to some learners and educators. Electricity and internet dependent. So kaya importante din yun lang, ito talaga, ito yung main reason or main challenge talaga sometimes, itong electricity and internet dependency. Okay, so now after knowing all of this and hoping for this pandemic to end, what will be the future of education? So this is a statement from our CHED chairman, uh, Dr. Prospero de Vera. So yan, from now on, flexible learning will be the norm. There is no going back to the traditional full-pack face-to-face classrooms. The Commission has adopted a policy that flexible learning will continue in the school year 2021 and thereafter. So still, this is a challenge kasi medyo matagal na, but sabi nga, we have no choice but to adapt and to embrace this new normal. And aside from the future of education, ano na ba yung latest sa technology trends in 2021 and the coming years? So the next generation of the mobile networks, hindi naman natatapos yan. Lahat po ng softwares nag-update, yung ating mga phones nag-update. We need to update the tools that we are using and so on and so forth. So we need to keep updating. Flourishing the telemedicine and telehealth because this will be the new trend. The distributed cloud technology in demand, the growth of AI, robotics, and industrial automation, tackling the cyber attacks and data breaches. So there are several issues about data breaches doon sa mga kiniklik nating app, sineshare nating information. So be vigilant doon sa mga kiniklik nating mga link. So we need to, not everything about the internet is true. We need to filter out the information that we are getting from it. So, and then a rise in the use of augmented and virtual reality, the sustained growth in the adoption of micro mobility because usong-usong ngayon yan, yung mga biking because of the need, di ba? Kasi yung iba hindi naman, wala namang kakayahang bumili ng sasakyan. So, yan yung magiging trend. Okay, so I have, as you can notice, I have presented this in the start of my presentation. So yung, I just want to give emphasis on yan. So we can create, for example, we will research, we will present. So also, we are creating module, we will present. The important is that we share. Okay, we share to our students, we share to our colleagues, and then we are open for collaboration. That's why I remember yun nga, yung diniscuss ni Dr. Banyes kahapon about bukad or the chaos in the different fields in our society. Of course, ang sagot doon is research. So research will make our life easier. So very challenging as a research coordinator, very challenging ang pagko-conduct ng research, but we are doing our best in the university to participate para magkaroon tayo ng output. Okay? Kumbaga talagang research will change the world. Okay, so as for my conclusion, so whatever era or situation we are in, we need to adopt the flexible online platforms. Technology really plays a vital role in the changing society and digital world. As learning is a lifelong process, so is technology and software that we need to update constantly. So to end my presentation, I will leave you with this quote. The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. This is from John Wooden. Actually, this is effective kasi lagi ko tong sinasabi sa klase ko. Kasi hindi naman natin, di ba, we cannot force our students na magpakita, mag-on ng cam, na sumagot, mag-unmute ng mic. Though we are continuously encouraging them to do that. But we cannot force. So, lalo na pag-exam, di ba? Hindi mo naman nga mapo-force. So, sinasabi ko to, sinesend ko to sa kanila. So, merong umaamin na nanunulat. So, because of this quotation, this is what we call integrity. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Sheila Marie, for that wonderful message. We really appreciated also your topic because kami na mga hindi po line, ano, yung inyong, pero
Pwede
kailangan
po
po namin
tutulong,
ano,
sir.
i-embrace,
Opo.
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
opo.
Oho, napatulong po kami kay Sir Glenn.
Opo.
Tsaka sa inyo po, ma'am.
Opo,
Opo.
sure po, sir.
Ma'am, totoo po, ang CHED Commissioner po ay mention yung tungkol doon sa magiging new normal na po yung flexible learning. So we have to embrace the educators and the learners have to embrace this kind of what we're doing now, the online classes. Yung nga lang po ma'am, talagang meron pong mga tinatawag po tayong mga challenges yung sa mga students, karaniwan po talaga ang nagiging problem po natin ng ating students ay yung kanila hong line, maaring nakadata sila pero ang hirap pa rin po ma'am. Paano po kaya natin so anyway naman po ay yun naman po ay kumbaga sa part na po ng parents. Ang challenge ko lang po sa kanila ay mag-ano kayo sa ano ng line, nung talagang internet kasi mayroong mga fiber ano yan optics na talagang clear kahit walang problema sa atmosphere ay magagamit ano ho.
Opo.
Kaya po ano talagang kailangan po natin embrace, Ma'am Sheila.
Yes po, sir. Very challenging po talaga, but there are ways.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we're now will now proceed to our Q&A, question and answer. Sino po ang merong mga magagandang mga tanong yan? Kay Dr. Ronel. From Dr. Ronel, sa pungan, ang sabi po niya, basahin ko po from the chat box. I love the way you took off the flight of your presentation, sustained the smooth journey of discussion, and touched down at the conclusion of your sharing. Great job, Shiela. Congratulations. From Dr. Ivy Panelo, thanks po for reminding us to fully utilize the LMS available. Ililista ko nga po yan.
Pwede ko pong ibigay, sir, ang presentation ko. Ibibigay ko po.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Meron din po dito kay Sir Roy Pagirigan. Ms. Sheila, your presentation were so informative. I admit that I've learned a lot from what you have shared. It is enlightening to know that there is so much fun on this new norm. And there is really so much to learn that is very useful. Tama po. Okay, thank you, Sir Roy. Meron pa po sa last, ma'am? Si Ma'am Ivy uli, ang sabi po niya, sa dami na pong na-attend ang webinar about this, nakaschedule na po ang tutorial class ko with my techie son about the full use of technology in teaching. Talagang kailangan na ho natin mag-embrace. Even the elementary students and high school students are adopting this kind of system. So yun nga, marami nga po nag-react doon sa kay Commissioner ng Commission on Higher Education.
Opo.
Dr. Prospero, talagang marami pong nag-react kasi po medyo hindi pa ho lahat handa ang ating pong mga kababayan sa ganyang kagaya po ng mga hamon. Okay? Sa inyo po, ma'am, ano po ang inyong maipapayo sa aming sa lahat ng naririto po ngayon na ating pong mga tagapakinig para po tanggapin ang mga hamon?
We have no choice po, sir, nga. Just like what I have said, we have no choice because we were all caught unprepared with this pandemic. And even before naman, sir, Moodle, parang mga 2000, late 2000, meron na siyang Moodle for remote learning. Kasi ang purpose is that Pwede kasing may mga unavoidable circumstances, pwedeng wala ang instructor, pwedeng absent ang students. Kasi as instructors, as educators, we have so many things to attend to. 'Di ba? Nagre-research tayo, we are attending meetings. So, yun ang purpose ni remote learning, ni blended learning. So, yan, dun po siya nag-evolve. So with this new normal nga, yun nga po, we need to really adapt. We need to we need to look for kung ano yung applicable or yung mas madali para sa atin. Kasi pwede naman po tayong pumili. Pero usually nga kung ano yung pinoprovide ng ating university, yun ang ating ginagamit. At hindi naman nagkulang talaga sa preparation yung ating university. Kasi nung palang pagpasok last year, tanda ko sobrang dami pong webinars talaga. Talagang agad sila, nag-subscribe agad sila, G Suite Education, para talaga ma-support yung, kumbaga sa preparation kasi nangyari March, nasa kalagitnaan po tayo ng SEM, tama, nung nag-lockdown. So, parang tigil halos ng mga 3 weeks and then nag-extend tayo ng, yung second SEM nag-extend and then as preparation agad for the midterm, yung summer term, inihanda na po ang mga faculty, talagang tinrain. So, yun po, talagang doon talaga, kailangan talaga natin siyang practicein. So, halimbawa po, umattend tayo, so fresh pa sa ating isip, i-apply na po natin. Tapos talagang, actually kahit po sa mga students ko, nandyan si Google, nandyan si YouTube. Everything that we need to know, type lang natin, parang minsan nga sir, dati pa naman, meron akong, di ba, nagbibigay tayo ng assignment, face-to-face pa to. And then sabi ng estudyante ko, wala daw siyang makita. So, hindi ako naniniwala doon. Kasi, parang sa dami ko ng sinearch, di ba? Di ba, sa bilis mag-reply ni Google, wala pa naman akong na-type na walang sagot. Kasi sabi ko, kung wala pa yan, pwede mong ikayaman, pwede yan. Kasi ikaw magsisimula ng idea, kung gusto mo. Tapos, yun, ang ginawa ko, pina-assignment ko ng wala. So, wala ding nakita. So, naandun po lahat. Search lang po natin. Tapos nga po, yun, nandito naman po kaming mga computer instructors. Yun nga lang, talagang pwedeng through Zoom or through Google Meet po talagang tuturuan or pwede pong mag-record kami ng video, for example. Yun nga po, don't hesitate to ask. Apply na agad. Don't hesitate to ask. Okay lang pong magtanong, okay lang pong magkamali. Tanggapin natin yung sa new normal. Kasi okay lang. Kasi kaya naman natin yung itama. Yun po.
Yes, ma'am. Meron po dito, ma'am, na nag-comment from the Department of Education, si Bombi A. Dalangin. Ang sabi po niya, napaka-informative ng webinar. Napakaswerte ko na nakaabot ng talk ni ma'am from DepEd po si Bombi po, Dalangin. Napakaswerte daw po, ma'am, niya at inabot niya po yung inyong talk o inyong seminar o webinar. Ma'am, in relation naman po, ito concern lang po ng ating mga students. Since nandito po tayo sa Q&A. Kung meron po kayong mga questions po, ay pwede po kayong magsulat po sa chat box and any appreciation or acknowledgement kay Ma'am Shiela at kay Dr. Dennis na mga plenary speakers po natin. Ma'am, nandito rin po na ma'am si Ma'am Cecil Magnaye. Yung pong tungkol po dun sa ating may mga students po na nagsasabi po na, sir, bali po kami po ay hindi po nakaka-meet, attend ng classes dahil po ganito. May mga dahilan po. Ang atin pong policy, student norms, ay nasa 2 to parang 6 weeks lang po Parang 2 days lang po yun. Considered 2 days pagka 3 hours po per week.
Yung pong synchronous sa synchronous.
Yes, ma'am. Di parang, paano po kayo bilang nasa computer, paano niyo po hinahandle yung mga ganong klaseng students na hindi po sila nakaka-attend while we have the policy na nandun sa ating syllabus na academic na 6 hours lang po, in 18 hours yung dapat na hindi ma-excuse siya. Paano po yun, ma'am?
I have experienced that. Ni-remind ko, sir, ni-remind ko kasi meron silang fill out na form Tama po, yung survey natin sa student at they start. So doon natin makikita kaya tayo merong ano ngayon, alternative learning management ALM ba ngayon. So yun, nag-start ang reminder ko doon na at you have the tools. Ibig sabihin you have the capacity to enroll in the class. Parang actually na-experience ko sir yan eh. Medyo minsan kasi talaga merong masama sa pakiramdam na ipasa. Tama po. Masakit sa loob. Kaso lang talagang ang iiral po sa atin is talagang yung consideration, lalo na sa panahon ngayon. Kumbaga talagang yung yung empathy. So i-remind ko lang talaga kung ingat ako sa words. Baka nga manibago yung mga dati ko na estudyante kasi sabi nila matapang daw ako dati. Nag-iba na daw po. So, meron po ako niyan, sir. Naku, parang siya ay cross enrollee pa from Nasugbu. Parang nag-attend na lang siya ay parang ilan lang din nga, sir, hinabol. Pero pinag-isipan ko po, sir, sinurvey ko muna talaga kung totoo yung kanyang alibay. Baka naman nga po kasi ay totoo na talagang mahirap ang signal. Pero nakaka-experience ako, sir, merong nakaakyat sa nakaakyat sa bubong, namamayong yung estudyante ko talaga. Opo, na-screenshot ko siya sa attendance. So, yun din, parang sir, kahit ano pa man din, ang pagtatapusan niyan, bibigyan pa din natin ng consideration. Kasi talagang tayo ang mag-e-extend. Parang talagang willing ka, ano yung gusto mong gawin ko or paano ba kita tutulungan. Parang ganun po. So siguro naman doon ay lalambot ang kanyang puso na yun, pinapahabol ko na lang sir, binibigay ko, tapos bibigyan ko na lang ulit ng deadline. Parang talaga pong talagang super duper habang pasensya, madaming consideration, yun po talaga sir ang aking ginawa. Kahit masama sa loob ko ay ipinasa ko po. Binigyan ko pa rin po ng exam.
So yun po yung mga challenges.
Opo, yan
Opo,
po.
isa po sa mga talagang
Experience ko din
challenges
po
po
yan.
na harapin natin.
Opo.
Sige po, check ko lang po yung ating ma'am. Thank you very much ma'am sa answer niyo po.
Okay po sir, thank you din.
Okay, meron pa pong nais na magtanong kay ma'am?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Yes po.
Hello Ma'am Shiela, good morning.
Hello sir, good morning po.
Si Sir Dr. Compasivo po.
Okay, so Ma'am Shiela, our technology students or the BIT students now, especially the third year level who are taking their thesis,
Opo.
and they are conducting this project development study. And to demonstrate their project output is through video simulation. And doing the video simulation really is very challenging to our technology students, considering that we do not train them, hindi natin sila naturuan before. Siguro computer technology students, maaring naturuan sila, but other specialization like in mechanical technology, civil, and other specialization ay medyo ngayon lang sila nakaranas ng paano mag-video simulation. So being an expert in computer, and applying those tools for simulation, what can you recommend to us, not especially to our students doing their project simulation? Ano kaya ang mga tools na yung madali nilang matutunan, madali nilang ma-adapt in their project simulation? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay po, sir. Sir, itanong ko muna po, presentation po ba yung ire-record?
Yes, yung halimbawa magbuo sila ng yung ating pinapagawa sa kanila na mga halimbawa mga gadgets, or machine na kanilang i-develop, they are going to present that in video simulation from parts, then yung pag-assemble noon, then how their project functions na pinapakita nila yan in simulation. So ang ginagawa ng aking mga estudyante, kasi ako rin yung naghawak ng thesis nila, ay since hindi nila kayang gawin, pinapausap nila sa yung marunong gumawa ng simulation.
Okay po. Sir, kung yung iba pong presentation, kung sa PowerPoint po, may screen recording na si PowerPoint ngayon. Tapos meron din po naman na aside from kay mismong PowerPoint presentation, may screen recording, pwede din po nating i-download yon. May mga apps po doon. Tapos kung dyan po yung mismong pagbubuo, there are many video editing tools po na merong may libre, meron pong may bayad, pero sa una, limbawa, usually mga 7-day trial, i-grab na nila yung opportunity ng ganon. So, pwede po nila, sir, halimbawa, Android user po sila. Punta lang sila sa Play Store, hanapin lang nila yung video editing. Marami na pong lalabas doon. So, pwede po yun. Pwede din naman, sir, na picture by picture step, tapos i-compile as video. Or pwede din i-compile as PowerPoint presentation. Pwede din po yun, sir. Yung, kumbaga, as alternative.
Okay, so siguro we will remind our faculty siguro who are teaching yung sa AutoCAD ba yun, Juan? Na maisingit rin itong pagturo ng tawag dito, simulation, kasi nga sabi natin na yung new norms now is mga online presentation na lang ng kanilang project output.
Opo.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Okay po, sir. Welcome po. Thank you din po.
Ma'am Sheila, may sinabi po si Dr. Ronel Sapungan. Flexible learning mode is also applied to understanding students' bad situation.
Tama po, sir. Tama po, Doc Ronel.
Okay. Okay, so kung wala na pong mga questions, inquiries sa ating pong third plenary speaker, we'll now give the awarding of certificate. Okay. Basahin ko lang po ang text ng ating pong certificate. Republic of the Philippines, Batangas State University, JPLPC Malvar, Batangas, College of Industrial Technology. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to Ms. Shiela Marie G. Garcia as plenary speaker in the first virtual research conference on education, management, and technology, RCEMT 2021. A fully digital conference with the theme Academic Experiences and Educational Gaps, Reflections in a New Norm. Held on May 28, 2021 via Zoom. Given this 28th day of May 2021. Vice Chancellor for Research and Development and Extension Services, signed Engineer Rosana Lat. Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and the Dean of the College of Industrial Technology, Dr. Amado C. Quinto, signed. And then the Chancellor of the Batangas State University Malvar Campus, Dr. Philip Y. Del Rosario. Let's give her a virtual round of applause. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you po, sir. Thank you so much po. Thank you po kay Sir Aceron for believing and trusting me. Nakaya ko pala. Thank you po.
Opo. Thank you very much po. Talagang kami po ay natutuwa sa ating pong sa inyong ibinahagi sa umagang ito. Ganun din po sa ating pong second speaker na si Dr. Dennis. Okay. We'll now proceed to ang sessions po natin sa lahat po ng mga participants and guests from Sheila Marie. Thank you so much din po. Ito po yung ating mga links para po sa ating, hindi ko po ito i-off, ito pong ating